Welcome back. So this is where I'm at with the wheelchair build. Got the seat mounted. I changed a few things that I originally was going to do with this. I just used these factory footrests and put them back into these side frames. My original idea was to build a footrest, but it would have to be attached up to this frame here on the top there, so that it would move up and down with the seat with the tilt recline. And I still might build one of those. If I do, I'm going to build it with a clamp that goes around there so that it can be removed, and then you can put these back in. The nice thing about having these ones that it came with stock is they can always be removed, so you can just pop them out of there. This one's locked, I think. There we go. Just pop it out like that, and then the mount is still there, but you could use one in the middle. So right now, just because of time constraints, I'm going to leave these pieces that came from the factory back on it. I had to put these side frames back on. My original idea was to get a seat. That's why the seat was so high, and it was a minivan seat. A seat with a fold-down armrest, so I'm going to leave the fold-down armrests on it, of course. That was my original plan, and to eliminate these side frames completely, but I'd have to fabricate a mount for the control here. So putting the side frames back on saves me doing that. The side frames also are going to keep it somewhat stock, like factory, and also these handles for if the batteries die, you can put it into push mode on the motors down there. Let's see, I'll zoom in. See the lever right there that goes push mode and drive mode. So all that stuff, because I'm leaving these tailor-made factory side frames on, it'll save me building mounts for anything like that, or custom fabricating anything like that. Even though it wouldn't be too hard to modify those, just cut them and move them. But then if somebody gets after me about modifying this too much and not having the factory built hardware on it, and it making it unsafe for the user or other people, which is a bunch of BS, but we all know, but that won't happen if I leave all this stuff on there. So that's what it's going to be. I'm going to have to lengthen this tube a little bit here today, or build a new one to connect these two. So I ended up just touching up the paint and cleaning it up, but I got to clean it up a little bit more. Put some lipstick on this old pig, and it's actually looking pretty good. So here's the recline button. I just moved it out to there, so I can tilt it here. Come on, old girl. Well, there we go. So with the way these frames are mounted to the frame that the seat sits on, it'll recline and it won't interfere with anything, which is nice. So I tilt it back and show you what I ended up doing. So I wanted to keep the seat slides so that the seat could be slid back and forth, but it just wasn't going to work because it would make it too tall, and we just can't have it tall like it was. And that's the unfortunate part about using the rear seat out of a van, is they're always mounted high up off the floor. So in hindsight, I should have grabbed a power seat out of the front of a SUV, because the floor's higher in the front of an SUV, like a Dodge Durango, and that would have been easy to mount in here, and then I could have kept the power seat mechanism. And maybe someday I'll put one of those seats on this thing and eliminate these side frames, but right now, like I say, I just want to get it done so that the user has access to it. So I ended up cutting the seat frame. Not very good lighting in here. There we go. Here, welding a piece of angle iron on and just bolting it in. So it's still just 4 bolts. It's not as quick release as I wanted. I welded the top of the bolts into the seat frame, so just take these nuts off. You don't need a wrench on the top. And I had to cut this back a little bit, so it's not too jagged there. I chamfered it a little bit. I tried to make it look as decent as I could, so that it just kind of looks like it came with this cushion. I had to weld these pieces of flat iron on that back frame to mount the back of the seat too, because the seat pedestal just didn't quite make it to this back piece of square tubing. So I did that last night. Thought about it for quite a while, and it would be nice to be able to adjust the seat front to back, but when people are in a wheelchair, usually you just set it by using these mounts here, loosen them up and move this whole frame back and forth to where you need it, where the user is going to be comfortable. And then once that's set, usually it's just left alone. So, because you don't have multiple people using this like a car where it has to be adjusted every time a different person gets in it. So I'm not too worried about losing the forward backward adjustment from the seat slides. I think this will be fine the way it is. Got a couple of flat tires. I don't know why. This tire is actually holding air, but I think it's slowly losing air, so I might have to put a tube in it. I don't know why I thought that parts for these things were cheap. I found a website a while ago, years ago, and I was looking at parts because I was thinking about picking up a used one and maybe fixing it up for this this particular user. But parts definitely aren't cheap. Maybe I found a website years ago and parts have went up since then, or maybe I can't find that website. Different sites have different prices for sure, but the wheels and the tires and rims for these things are just outrageously expensive as far as I'm concerned for what you get. A wheelbarrow tire is bigger than these things, but I guess because these ones are rated for healthcare or whatever, they charge a lot of money for them. So I'm gonna try some of this stuff. Flat repair. In this one, this is the bald tire. It's flat. I filled it up. I pumped it up with air the other day, and it's flat again, so it needs a tube, but the tire's bald, so I'm going to get a whole new tire, probably just a set of rear tires. I'm just checking out eBay and Amazon and stuff right now, but I'm going to try some of this stuff. This has been laying around the shop for quite a while, puncture sealed. It's worth a try. What the heck, I might as well use it up. Put it in there today and I'll run it around. You're supposed to run it for a while after you put that in and pressure it up. Other than that, it's pretty much where I want it to be. I've got a little bit more, maybe touch some paint up. I got to clean it really well with some leather cleaner and stuff. And then I got to order tires in, change the tires. So maybe I'll make a video of that. I don't know what's going on with my videos. I can't upload. I merged one together. I got a whole bunch of short videos of the work that I've been doing on it, and I can't upload it. I've been on the forums and stuff, and apparently the process abandoned message keeps coming up, and that's a problem that a lot of people are having with YouTube. So I'm going to try another computer here. One message that I read said that it might be because there's so much storage, there's hardly any storage space left on the computer, and that's definitely the case with one of my laptops. So I'm going to try another laptop here with a little more space on the C drive and see if I'll be able to upload the video. Because I edited it and stuff, I downloaded a video editor. I'm trying to make higher quality videos here. Anyway, hope that helps someone out there. This is a major upgrade for this. You can see that the van seat's going to be a lot nicer. Alternatively, if you're going to do something like this, or if you're going to get somebody like me to do something like this, what a few things to consider are fold down armrests. Are you going to eliminate those side frames completely, build a new footrest, which I think is a great idea. I'd love to do that with this one, and I might still do it. Eventually, we'll see how the user likes it the way it is. The seat, things to consider is the seat you're going to use. Does it have a seat belt? This one only has the female. I didn't realize that. I think it had a shoulder harness in the back of the van. So I should probably try and find a seat belt, a seat mount seat belt, and I'll just make a hole in the side there. There's a steel mount inside the seat under that plastic cover, and I'll just bolt it to the side of the seat. It'd be good enough to hold somebody in there, because sometimes the user might slide a little bit, like especially on the leather. Then if they don't have strong legs or any leg control, that could be a problem, so they might want to strap in. So that's one of the things to consider. The other one is you can get a lot of seats without fold-up armrests like this one has. So if you want to keep these side frames that the wheelchair came with, you can get a seat without the fold-up armrests like this, and then you could just move these frames in. So that I wanted to eliminate those outside frames, but at this point I'm just going to leave it. Also, the other thing is an iPad mount can clamp onto here, and the existing manual wheelchair that this person has an iPad mount on it. So that's another reason why I wanted to keep those side frames. So we'll see how it goes, see how they like it, what they want to do. If it comes right down to it, I could always take the fold down armrests off the van seat and move those side frames in that much more, another couple inches on each side. Right now they're pretty wide, so I don't know how that's going to affect going through doorways and whatnot. So those are some things to consider if you're going to do this, is what you want to do is with it. Are you going to do fold down armrests? Are you going to keep the armrests that the chair came with? Or are you going to put a new footrest in, or keep the old footrests? Like I say, if I had more time, I'd do things a little bit differently. I still might make a different footrest, but right now I'm just happy that it's going to be usable here pretty soon. I just got to get the tires on it and just clean it up a little bit more. Got the batteries charged up. I did notice that this old charger is a little noisy, but it does have a gel setting on it, so it should be fine for Optimas, charging with 24 volts. So it's still needs a little bit of cleanup and a little bit of touching up, but for the most part I'm pretty happy with this. It's a real good upgrade. Alright, so stay tuned for more videos. Catch you later.